guys, and welcome back to another book review video. I'm sorry this video is a little bit later than normal, but I just had a really busy and crazily hectic month. I don't know if that's even a phrase, crazily hectic. I'm gonna roll with it. But this video is gonna be all the books that I read during the month of October. I only read 5 books during October. Like I said, the last couple of months of the year are normally quite busy for me, so my October and November books were only 5 books each month, which is less than I would have liked, but I am still glad I got them done, and there were some very, very good books in these 2 months. So let's get into the October ones that I read. The first book that I read in October was The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio. Now, this is a very cute little book. I picked it up because it was shorter, thinking that, you know, I'd get it done in a day, or maybe 2 days max. However, it did kind of put me in a little bit of a reading slump, and that isn't to say that the book is bad. I thoroughly enjoyed the book. I thought it was really sweet, really cute, and I liked the characters. I just didn't really fall in love with the characters the way that I do in other books. I just didn't really feel that emotionally attached. However, I did like them. I did like the book, and visually, the descriptions were stunning, what I was imagining in my mind. But it did put me in a little bit of a reading slump, and it took me 2 weeks to finish. Every time I picked it up, I just wasn't really in the mood to read. I just felt like doing something else. So this is probably contributing, but yeah, so my 2-week reading slump, I did get it done just under 2 weeks. I got it done in 13 days. So a very long time for me to read such a small book. But I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was just a nice little book, but yeah, did put me in a reading slump. So I have to bring the score down for that one. Then I started a trilogy, a young adult trilogy, which I have been seeing doing the rounds everywhere all over TikTok, and that is the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy by Stephanie Garber. Now, I started reading this trilogy, I probably should have waited another week, but basically the 3rd book was coming out in a couple of weeks when I started this, but I couldn't resist picking it up. Loved. This was a 4-star for me, not quite 5, but I really enjoyed it. Loved my main girl, Evangeline. I love Jax, the main male character. So good. You know, there's magic and there's romance and love and enemies to lovers, and what can you not love? So Once Upon a Broken Heart was 4 out of 5s. Next up, we have the 2nd book in that trilogy, which is The Ballad of Never After. This was 5 stars for me. This book was really, really good. I loved what happened in the plot. The ending, oh my God, the ending was just the biggest cliffhanger ever, and I was shocked, I was crying, and I was like, I need the 3rd book straight away. There was still a week until the 3rd book was going to be released when I finished this book. So this was a 5 out of 5, love. And I had to wait a week until the next book came out, but luckily, there was another series by this author that I didn't realize that I probably should have read first. So our main male character, Jax, who's in this trilogy, is actually in this other trilogy, and this takes place over a year or so before this trilogy takes place. It's set in the same universe, same sort of characters, different storylines, but Jax is in both of the trilogies, and he's introduced in 2 of this trilogy. Most people start with this trilogy. I should have, but obviously I started with Once Upon a Broken Heart. So I thought in the meantime, while waiting for that 3rd book to come out, I would start this trilogy, and it is the Caraval trilogy. Funnily enough, I actually picked up Caraval, the 1st book, like 6 months ago and didn't make it past chapter 5. I just wasn't really into it. However, when I picked it up this time, I was enthralled. I thought it was great. Scarlet was really great. I love Julian. I love the 1st book. I don't want to give too much away. And like I said, this is a rapid fire review. But this was a 4-star read for me. Loved characters, loved the story, and I just loved all the magic. Next up in the Caraval trilogy was Legendary, and this was my last book for October. And this was also a 4-star read, and then we're introduced to Jax in this book, who, like I said, was in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. So it's cool to see his character here before it takes place in the other one. 4 stars for me. Again, love it. This one was from Donatella's perspective, and she's my favorite out of the 2 sisters. I think Tella is just a really great and complex and flawed character, and I think she's just really great to read in her perspective. So that was the last book I read in November, and it was really, really great. But that was my rapid fire of my October reads and their little reviews. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you were paying attention to the trilogies I was talking about, go ahead and watch the November reading recap, which we posted shortly, that will have the continuation of 2 of those trilogies in it.